If you're in high school or if you're at this age where you're getting anxiety about stepping into adulthood, graduating, let this video kind of be a message. If you needed to hear this, then you needed to hear this. And time flies by. Time flies by really fast. You're going to get through it. You need to have faith and believe in yourself. That is the only way to success, is believing in yourself. Failure happens, mistakes happen. It is needed in order to win. That is the beauty of learning. Look, adulting can be scary. When you realize you're graduating out of school, that's when you kind of realize it really hits you. Even right now, it's crazy to say that I graduated 2 years ago. Like, it literally felt like yesterday. Time flew by so fast. When I was 18, I feel like that era of me was definitely one of my most chaotic eras of my life, but it had a lot of hidden subliminals behind it. It had a lot of hidden messages that I needed to learn from. I wouldn't change a thing, mind you, on what 18 did to me, because obviously I am who I am right now. I know a lot of people sit back and think, if I could give myself advice at this age, now that I'm older, what would I give myself? So let's talk about it. So today, divas, I'm back. It's Treasure, and it's late at night. I'm in my PJs, fresh out the shower. Got my candle lit, my pink couch, my cheetah blankets, and my journal with me. And I'm feeling great. I took my melatonin, so I'm ready to head to bed. I really like doing this. I want to sit and yap and just talk about real shit, because that's just who I am. The vibes is great. The vibe is good. Being a Pisces is just who I am as a person. I love daydreaming. I'm always thinking. My mind's always running. I'm in my own world most of the time, all the time. And one thing about me is I love thinking deep things, like things that got me thinking, something that intrigues me and taps into my personality or my creativity, whatever it is. And I'm a very great deep talker. I'm very great at having conversations, especially when it comes to things that not a lot of people talk about, or are very vulnerable, or can be triggering. I am just so emotionally connected and emotionally intelligent. It just comes natural. It's something that I love doing. I recently just turned 20, and spiritually it's got me learning, growing, understanding things. Actually, I'm really excited about my 20s. I've been saying that a lot. I definitely want to take advantage of my 20s, because 20s is the best years of your life. So the thought of being 20 excites me, one. But at the same time, it makes me feel like I'm rushed. I feel like, oh, I'm adulting, I'm in my prime 20s, like I need to do something in my 20s that really sets myself up for success in my entire life. Like, this is where I shift my life around. This is where I change. This is where I make myself proud and step into the highest version of myself. And yes, that is definitely a really huge goal for me. Being 20 now and looking back at the life I lived and excited to step into this new version of myself really has got me thinking. I'm kind of in this phase where I am trying to get used to stepping into this new version of myself and closing doors and opening new ones, but also ending a chapter in my life. You know, obviously I'm not a teen anymore. I've had a lot of eras growing up. You see eras of yourself that don't feel like you anymore, or it feels bittersweet, like you miss this era and the vibes that it gives you. At the same time, it's like you would never want to go through that ever again. Stepping into this new version of myself, I have to really disconnect myself from other old versions of me. I do a lot of research, especially when it comes to self-healing, learning more about myself every time. With this new transit, this new era of my life, with what my path is looking like right now, with this retrograde, with this shift and change in this new year, it's really telling me that this is my time. Not only that I'm in my prime 20s, but this is my time to step into that highest version of myself that I always dream of. I am a very sentimental person. I look back on a lot of things. In order to do this whole new stepping into my highest self, I obviously have to detach from my old self. You need to detach yourself. You actually need to create versions of you, not just one, because there never is just one. You need to understand and realize that you grow over time. You're never going to go back to the old you, because you've learned so much by now. You know so much by now. You're going through this. You have to learn this, and you're only moving forward. I wouldn't want to go back in time. It really taught me that divine timing is a real thing, and that's really the beauty of it all. It created who I am today. It does not define me. Everything that I have experienced in my life created someone that is so emotionally deep, so emotionally intelligent, someone that really loves talking about vulnerable things or things that go beyond than just the normal conversation. Just having conversations or wanting to let people know that they're heard, because my trauma growing up is always feeling unheard, feeling powerless. Now I'm such a good listener, and I always make people feel heard and understood. It creates the best version of me that is wise and strong and knowledgeable and educated and healthy, and I can go on and on, but it never defines who you are, especially when it comes to bad eras or times where you were at your lowest. At 18, I did what a typical 18-year-old would do. 2023 was when I turned 17, 18, junior and senior year. When I tell you during that time, grab your snacks, okay? If I could tell high school self any advice, one, don't ditch class. I actually used to never do that. I was kind of like a goody two-shoes, and I just get filled with guilt doing something I'm not supposed to do, so I avoid doing it. But in my junior year, I was locked in the beginning, and then I had the most friends during my high school years. That is definitely something that I would tell myself is don't hang around with everybody. Don't just let people in too quickly, and don't trust anybody. During that time, I met a lot of friends, and it really was like high on life for me. Socializing with people, good energy, good vibes, and hanging out with people. I love that. I mean, in general, I still like doing that. I like hanging out with people. I like socializing, especially when it comes to people that I really, am cool with. But in 2023, I felt like I just wanted to get to know everybody. It was my, chance of being social, so of course, I'm gonna go for it. But I definitely will say keep your circle small. Don't let anybody in too quickly. Don't skip class, because once I started making friends, I wanted to just hang out with them all the time. I wanted to go ditch. And honestly, look, it was very fun, okay? I'm very completely honest on here. This is my channel. This is me. That's why I said I was really high on life during that time, because I had no care or worry in the world. I just hung out with my friends. I felt so loved, and I wasn't alone and completely in my thoughts, and I felt like I was healing. I felt like I was living a life that was meant for me. And this is when I realized I wasn't myself and tried to be someone who I wasn't. This is when I didn't completely know myself. Instead, I hung around with people that created this version of me. And my dad always said, be careful who you hang out with, because you will end up being just like them. Don't hang with bad influences, because you become one. Obviously, young, stubborn little me would be like, oh yeah, whatever, he's just saying stuff, he just is being a dad and being overprotective. But really, as simple as he said it, it is true. But it goes on such a deeper level. Don't hang out with people that are bad influences, because you become the next victim. You indulge in that energy, and you need to be around people that hold and share the same values as you. Don't settle for less or stoop down to their energy or stoop down to their level just to be liked. And it's like this whole high school thing where it's just like you wanted to be liked. And I know a lot of people have felt that way. Like, in high school, everybody socializes, everybody's friends with each other. You have FOMO, you want to be liked, you want to know people, you want to go to these parties, you want to go to these kickbacks, these hangouts, you want to get invited to go do things. You want to ditch to hang out with friends and just sit in the car at the park and just chat, because that was just a high adrenaline life where you kind of let your intrusive thoughts win because you're a teen and rebellious. No matter how much fun, I want you to step back and realize, is this really who you want to be? Is this really who you want to hang out with? Especially during these important times of your life, of your years of high school. Are you just doing this as a distraction or a cover-up from all your trauma? Are you really healing, or is this something to ease off the mind? Are you really healing, or is this a distraction? Are these real, genuine friends, or are they just using you? Or are they just beings that are placed in your timeline, that are placed in your path for a reason, to teach you something? You gotta trust your intuition. Don't always let your intrusive thoughts win. You really need to be logical, and you really need to step back and look around and show up for yourself. Listen to yourself. Don't step out of your comfort zone because other people are doing it. Always be true to yourself. You know that. You always knew that. I started becoming someone who I wasn't. I started ditching, started doing a lot of things that I never thought of doing. Younger me definitely would have been disappointed. And hanging out with friends, always going out, always partying, getting into trouble, fighting, not really caring about my safety. Deep down inside, I was suffering mentally. I was going through a lot personally, and I was scared to reach out. But at the same time, I felt like everybody was just so happy and in their own world. Why would they listen to me? And that is something that I would tell myself, don't be scared. And if you're around friends that make you doubt, or where you just feel like you cannot speak up or cannot talk or rant about anything, and it's just all just distractions, it's all just fake happiness and partying, then that's when you really know that this isn't the group of friends you want to be with, and this isn't the life you want to live. Because it's just like, are they really your friends if they're not really there for you? They're only there to just call you up and be like, hey, let's go party. Are they really listening to you? Do you even know these people? Like, their dreams, their goals, what they want to do in their future? Do you know anything about that? I had a lot of karma back in 2023. I definitely paid off a lot of debt. And during that time, I was just internally just in pain, built up anger, built up sadness, and I abused it. I used it out of so much rage, out of so much anger, and I really didn't care. That was crash out version of me, crash out treasure. And I just feel like she was just reckless, ruthless, but at the same time, she could party, she could help people. She's the one that will defend anybody. She's the down ass bitch. No matter who Treasure was, deep down in her heart, she cared about everybody around her. And at any sort of conflict that she got into, all of it, definitely, I took by heart, because I love deeply with my heart. And if I was ever hurt by someone, then it definitely means something to me, because I loved everybody so deeply, especially to the people that I called my friends or that was close in my life. I truly, truly cared for. No matter what, I was going to be a good friend. Yeah, there's times where I maybe wasn't the best friend, but I always was able to sit down and listen and hear. And of course, there's times where I'm gonna be stubborn, but it's all about growth. It's all about learning. I never said I was a good person. I never said, in this era of me, was probably a dark version of me that I definitely don't want to go back to, but I definitely don't regret ever experiencing, because now you see I separated that version of me. I separated that era of me and took out all the lessons that I've learned, all the trauma, everything that happened within that year. I learned, getting one step closer to the best version of me. That year, I almost died twice. And I think that was definitely karma. That year, I also found out that I was perhaps getting hexed, or I had a curse on me. It was a lot of evil eye around me. Negative energy. I always got hurt. The worst of the worst happened. I got cheated on, lost a lot of friends, got into fights. I turned into just a negative version of me that stepping into my senior year, I got senioritis. Couldn't do it. Didn't want to go to class, didn't want to go to school anymore. And abundantly, because I worked so hard, I decided, okay, this is the perfect time. Let me talk to my counselor and see if I can graduate early. Talked to him and he said, hey, you have enough credits. You don't have to take all these classes. The only thing that you need to finish is math. So let's just put you on Ingenuity. You can do Ingenuity from home. You don't have to come to school. And I was happy. I was like, this is perfect. This is what I need. Junior year really tired me out, stressed me out. Senior year was really when I was just like, okay, I'm ready to get out of high school. Thankfully, I took that break. I wasn't really present in my senior year. And I think that was for a reason, because I felt like I just needed that break. I needed that alone time. And I grew. I grew a lot within myself. I really had to trap myself in the room and be in my thoughts and really understand and dig deep down inside. What the heck is going on? Who was that? What am I doing? And, I slowly started to learn more about myself. But what I would want to tell me is that you did the right thing. You took initiative. You understood that you were burnt out and your body needs a rest. So yes, you did the right thing, finding the best possible way to take care of your mental health, because 2023 I had to learn that. I was in the psych and I told myself I was never ever going to OD ever again. I was never going to do that. All of that, God spared me. Got into my accident, God spared me again. Even at home, I stayed educated, learned things. I finished my classes, I worked, paying bills. But I want to tell high school me, you're not alone in any of this. Even though I forced myself to be alone, I'm never alone. And during this time, I wasn't really tapped into my spirituality. I always knew about spirituality, but I just felt like I never really did a lot of deep manifestations or deep meditations, or, really connected with nature, really understand myself. I mean, I started getting into spirituality at a very young age, but yeah, during this time I was getting introduced to it and really spending alone time. But I wish I could have learned more about myself, explored deeply within myself, but then also tell myself that I am guided and I am protected. And no matter what, throughout these good and bad times, God is always there with me. It's a test and time will pass and I will be okay. Everything will be okay. To never doubt yourself, to keep on fighting and letting go of old stagnant energy, letting go of old friends, letting it pass and moving forward. I started getting more into finally adulting and working and doing hobbies. I did a lot of hobbies. I did music. I love playing music. I love playing piano, singing. I had a Cricut machine, so I would make vinyls. I was very into car culture, so I went to car meets. I loved riding on the motorcycle, making music, and gaming. I was doing so much and I loved it. At that time, I also had a job that I ended up really loving. It was a daycare attendant for doggy daycare, and I fell in love with it, and that's what made me so interested in working in the pet care field. And that job is the best job I've ever had, like literally ever. If I could, I would tell myself, continue doing that and actually stay on it. Don't doubt yourself. Do it. Be the real you. That is the real you. Never be shy. Never hold back. Do it. If you want to start a business, because I always wanted to do a decal business, do it. I did start before I moved out here, and definitely, I will have plans in the future of continuing every single one of my hobbies, because it's me. That is me. Nobody could take that away from me. Nobody could take credit at all. I did that all myself. That's another thing I would tell myself, is give credit to yourself. After that crazy, crazy, crazy high school year, you're finally graduated. You don't need to stress about people anymore. You can finally just live your life. You did the right thing. Just know that you're always in your prime. You grew and you did so much. You learned so much. You matured so much. You turned into a woman. I got hurt very often with friends. And one of my lessons that I had to learn over and over and over again is don't help others that don't want to be helped. And if you do help others that do want to be helped, don't expect for anything in return. As a very caring friend, because we talked about how I love deeply and I care deeply about people, I always want to look out for them and give them good advice that I feel like they would need to know. I would try my best to be there for them, especially when they are going through something. I would want to give them motivation. There's times where my friends and I would do so much for this person, give them a place to sleep, a place to stay, food to eat, transportation, and this person ended up betraying everybody that took them in their home and ended up becoming very disrespectful. And it hurt me because it's like, we did so much for you to say the most craziest stuff, to be so disrespectful, and all we did was try to help you. And there's many occurrences where that has happened, where I try to give my advice as a real friend, seeing you for you. I will tell you if you need to lock in, because I always look for the best in everybody else, and that is a good and bad thing. I would tell myself, don't expect things from anybody, because if you do, you get disappointed. Don't help others that don't want to be helped. They need to learn by themselves. Learn the hard way. Either you try to stray them away from it. If advice is not necessary and needed, you don't need to tell people. It really hurt me seeing like, oh damn, you're not accepting this advice and now you're abusing it and you're taking advantage of it. That's what I would tell myself. Don't just give out your energy. Don't just give out your knowledge like that. Not a lot of people deserve to hear that. And definitely a lot of people need to learn that on their own, because clearly they have problems and you cannot help them. They need to learn that on their own. Secondly, just my energy in general, just what my soul just does is healing others and helping others. That is just something that I really like to do. I've had a lot of friends that come to me and talk about the most vulnerable things, and I give them the most uplifting stories and very good advice. I really like giving my all to people I love very hard and very deeply. That is something I would tell myself, is continue to do that, but with caution. Do that with those who deserve it, and do it with those who are willing to receive it and are willing to return. Don't give your all to someone who's doing the bare minimum. I've had friends that come to me and asking for advice, and we end up not being friends anymore. I feel like I gave them what they needed to hear, and I feel like they just popped in my life for a reason, because I was there to help them, give them motivation and advice. Also, there has been times where I felt like, well, dang, where is kind of that return? I'm also human. I also struggle with the things. But if I need advice or someone to talk to, can I ask you for advice? Can you also give me back the energy that I gave you? And one thing I would tell myself is that not a lot of people love as deeply and beautifully as you, and that is something that you should cherish, definitely protect and admire. Yeah, don't waste your energy too much on people who don't deserve it. Don't overstep. If your energy is not being sent back to you, or if they're not giving you the equal amount of love that you're giving them, then they obviously don't deserve it. And I've had friends that I felt has done that, take my advice or just take me as a person, as a friend for granted, and everything that I have taught them and everything that I have gave them, and run with it, and I'm left with nothing. That is exactly how you pour yourself into others, and you are left with an empty cup. I poured all my energy into everybody else, helping everybody else, watching them soar, watching them fly, watching them learn and understand themselves, and then here I am with nothing. And that ended up leading me to self-doubt. That ended up leading me to like, dang, I'm giving all these people good advice, but I really can't even help myself. I really am a hypocrite. I give all these people good advice, but why can't I take it and understand it myself? Why is it so easy for me to tell other people about this advice, but when I'm sitting down in my head, why is it so hard for me to reassure myself? And that also goes into play about, not a lot of people giving me back the deep love that I give, not being able to receive the same energy. And it made me so desperate. It made me so like dang, like I want to know more about me. I also need help too. I also need support. I also need to talk to somebody, but now I just feel forced to just be in my own head and not say anything because I never was understood. I never was heard. It just made me bottle up inside. After like, oh, I'm healed and everything's okay. And there is definitely still some instances I still deal with. But that's why I feel like if I could tell younger me, I would tell her to focus on you. Put you first before anybody else. Listen your advice when you tell people, because these are hidden subliminals and you know that. Work on it. Don't just let it go in one ear out the other. And I feel like if I did know that by then, maybe I could have healed, with that self-sabotage mindset by now. But I am slowly getting out of that. I'm slowly learning that, and it's all about growth. Continue eating healthy, sleeping well, socializing, but also having alone time, healing yourself, raising your vibrations, meditating, digging deep down into self-identity and self-worth, giving yourself affirmations. I was really good at doing schedules. Continue doing that. Live a life that is structured. Stop giving yourself out so much to other people and leaving yourself with none. And don't give all your energy to people who don't deserve it. And be very cautious with who you hang out with. And if they don't serve a purpose in your life, doing something that you know that isn't right or true to you, it's not worth your energy. It's not worth your peace. It's not worth your time. Anything that makes you doubt yourself, anything that just brings any negative energy into you, don't let it control you. Stop being scared. Don't be scared. Don't hold back. Don't let fear control you. Everything leads up to you. Don't make impulsive decisions, whether it's money, traveling, making friends or leaving friends, or out of anger or out of pettiness. Don't do none of that. Don't feed into negativity. Don't feed into evil energy. And definitely do not let people suck out the energy from you. Have a shield, treasure. Protect yourself, protect your heart and your energy. Now, as I'm continuing to cut off old versions of myself and identities, but now as I'm really just stepping into adulthood, showing up for me and creating the life that I've always dreamt of, it's a lot of pressure, definitely. It makes me nervous, but at the same time, it makes me so excited because I know I have so much good for me. I've learned so much over the past eras and versions of me. Because at the end of the day, nothing else matters. Nobody else matters except you. Of course, there's a lot of people in your life that you love, that you would do anything for. Those who you know who deserve it. Those who you know that will do anything for you. Continue to use that brain to its full capacity. Not everybody is perfect. And we all have had some crash out eras, crazy versions of ourselves that just make us go crazy when we think about it. But you gotta give a sweet goodbye to these versions and realize that happened because you needed it to happen. These are lessons that are meant to be put on your path and in your life for you to grow from and understand. These are lessons that you needed so you can move forward with life. She set you up to the next version of yourself, and the next version of yourself set up to this version of yourself. There's so many things that I've had done, that I have experienced, and right now I'm in a very beautiful energy, beautiful state of mind. I'm very happy and grateful to be exactly where I'm at. Before, I wouldn't have ever thought of that. This is actually what I have dreamed of. But see, I had so much self-doubt before, I would have never thought that this would happen. You dream things for a reason because it's always meant to be there. It's put in your destiny. It's already written in your destiny. When you daydream about these things, you feed energy into it. You feel so drawn to these things because It is already there. It is written for you and your destiny, on your path. I'm very grateful to be where I'm at right now, and I'm very grateful for the life to come. I'm doing a lot of self-work right now, and I'm really just digging deep down into old versions of myself, doing all that shadow work and understanding who I truly am. And that is why I just feel so abundant right now, because I feel like I'm really truly stepping into the best version of myself. And no doubt about it, every single past version of me led me up to this very moment. Everything that has happened to me happened for a reason, and it leads me to success. I'm so proud of myself, and I give myself credit. I truly deserve it, and I truly deserve the life that I always wanted and that I will have. Anyways, it is time to go to bed. Hope you guys enjoyed this nice little chit chat. I really like this as well, so I'm gonna continue doing more little yap sessions, late night yap sessions like this. Real life talks, because that's just who I am. And that is another part of me understanding who I am and what my niche is and what I truly love doing. It's all a learning process for me. I am going to go to bed now because I am tired. But this right here, let's actually take a look at my candle and read it. It has a definition on it. It says, savage, excellent, fierce, or wicked. A remark that is hilariously but ruthlessly on point. That is what I would tell myself. I'm a savage, bad bitch, and what I would tell you guys as well. Anyways, bye guys. Good night, and I'll see you in the next one.